For thousands of years, Jordanians have embraced the romance of the desert. Today, the journey from the modern-day Red Sea resort of Aqaba to some of the world's most famous tourist attractions is but a few hours by road. Nestling out of sight in the rocky Shara Mountains is Petra, one of the archaeological wonders of the world. Visitors are reminded of Petra's importance to the country and, of course, to the film industry. From here on, there's a choice of how you get to the ancient monuments. Of course, you can go by foot. That'll take you about 20 minutes or so. Or you can enjoy a more traditional and leisurely ride on an Arabic horse. Apart from perhaps making the surface a little less bumpy, the narrow passage to the treasury known as the Sikh has changed little over time. When the majestic facade of the red sandstone treasury looms into view, it's easy to understand why people come from all over the world to marvel at Jordan's pride and joy. Not to mention the local greeting that awaits. There's little doubt that the treasury, otherwise known as the Al-Khazna, was built to make a lasting impression. Just how the Nabateans carved this incredible facade into the rock face remains a source of amazement, even mystery. It's 30 metres wide and 43 metres high. They actually started the work at the top, and it took about 100 years to complete this wonderful monument. That was just over 2,000 years ago, when the Nabateans exerted considerable cultural influence. Petra, however, fell into ruin in the 14th century and was only rediscovered in 1812. Since then, archaeologists have been unravelling the mysteries of this historic treasure. So what about the name Al-Khazna? That would suggest that this place was used to conceal a wealth of treasures. In fact, it was built as a giant tomb for an unknown king. Tourists line up in their hundreds every day to take home their own special mementos. When you come to Petra, it's not surprising that this place proved an inspiration to the makers of the Hollywood blockbuster film Indiana Jones. One thing's for sure, this is one of the most instantly recognisable tourist attractions in Jordan. Today, Petra is known as the Red Rose City. As well as being the jewel in the crown of Jordan's tourist attractions, it's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So don't forget to bring your camera. Further along from the treasury, Petra is a maze of excavations, tombs and caves, which form part of the 800 or so monuments that survive to this day. A vast classical theatre is another important feature. Once it would have enjoyed capacity crowds of around 7,000. Some of the features here have been renovated in recent times. Petra may be an unmissable destination, but so too is the vast desert wilderness known as Wadi Rum, just over an hour away. A good sturdy 4x4 tends to be the best way to enjoy one of the most striking natural environments anywhere on Earth. This is also where the legend of Lawrence of Arabia was born, a British hero of the First World War immortalised on the silver screen. T.E. Lawrence's famous written account, The Seven Pillars of Wisdom, also became the obvious name for these natural mountainous formations now overlooking the visitor centre. Lawrence described Wadi Rum as a vast and echoing desert, surrounded by sheer-sided mountains of sandstone and granite. Vehicles are dwarfed by the sheer scale of the desert scenery, but at least this way it's possible to see many of the highlights within a day. Another more traditional mode of transport is of course to join one of the many camel trains, which follow a dusty trail through the land also known as the Valley of the Moon. This breathtaking scenery is the result of the forces of nature over a period of 500 million years. First, the erosion of hundreds of meters of sandstone by the ancient rivers, then the power of the desert winds. Today, Wadi Rum is a protected national treasure covering some 720 square kilometers. So, whether by transport old or new, the journey over the characteristic deep red sand dunes follows a trail to some of the best vantage points. Among the highlights are the natural rock bridges that span the network of canyons and gorges. And of course, it wasn't just Petra that proved a visual inspiration to the film industry. As if to confirm Jordan's position in the Movie Hall of Fame, Wadi Rum's dramatic landscape provided the perfect backdrop for another Hollywood classic, David Lean's epic war hero movie, Lawrence of Arabia. In fact, this is where T.E. Lawrence used to live. He was around about the time of the Great Arab Revolt in 1917-18. And though the Jordanians take a different view to the British, there's little doubt that over the years his influence has gained a mythical, larger-than-life status. That mythical status was translated into an Oscar-winning film in the 1960s, and in turn boosted Wadi Rum's own reputation as a place of myth and legend. By the end of the day, most tourists head for the so-called sunset site to enjoy the final hours of sunlight in this unforgettable desert wilderness.